Hi, and welcome to the session on the science behind the Les Mills Grit Series programs. In this session, you will learn how we transformed the fitness of 42 active adults in only 6 weeks just by changing 1 hour of their training. So brace yourself, your training may never be the same again after watching this session. High-intensity training has been making a lot of noise in the fitness industry with its promise to deliver huge gains in fitness and change your shape. So, we asked the AUT University here in Auckland to review the literature on this type of training so that we could see whether or not these claims were supported by science. First, they came up with a definition. They defined high-intensity interval training as repeated bouts of short to moderate duration exercise at an intensity above your anaerobic threshold, followed by periods of recovery. Now, you may remember from your exercise science training that your anaerobic threshold is the point in intensity where you use a lower percentage of oxygen to burn energy for fuel, and you go into your chemical reserves stored within the muscles. Now, after reviewing 83 articles, they identified 4 key factors that set high-intensity interval training apart from other training methods. High-intensity training is the key to unlocking EPOC, or excess post-exercise oxygen consumption. When you exercise at high intensity, you keep burning calories after the workout because of the EPOC effect, also known as the afterburn. High-intensity exercise has been shown to be more effective for fat loss than low-intensity exercise. Exercise intensity has been directly related to growth hormone production, i.e., the higher the intensity, the greater the increase in growth hormone. Human growth hormone stimulates muscle protein synthesis and helps the oxidation of fat, resulting in an increase in lean muscle and a reduction in body fat. And we see significant changes with aerobic fitness with high-intensity interval training. People get fitter faster when they train past their anaerobic threshold than if they train at a steady state. So, for the Les Mills Grit Series workouts to be considered effective as a high-intensity workout, we should see evidence of these key benefits when people do these workouts. So this is what we put to the test. Dr. Ginger Gottschall and her team at the Pennsylvania State University took 84 active individuals and split them into 2 age and gender matched groups. Both groups did 5 hours of exercise per week for 6 weeks. The difference between the two was what we did with one of those 5 hours. We will call one lot the group fit group. Their 5 hours consisted of 3 cardiovascular classes, which was their choice of body attack, body combat, RPM, or body step, and 2 body pump classes. The other group we will call the grit group. Now, they also did 5 hours of exercise per week, but instead of 3 cardiovascular classes, they substituted one of these with 2 Les Mills Grit Series workouts on separate days. So their workout routine was 2 cardiovascular classes, 2 Les Mills Grit Series classes, and 2 body pump classes. Now, the grit group alternated Les Mills Grit plyo and strength each week, i.e. one week their 2 workouts were Les Mills Grit plyo, the following they were strength. Now, for both groups we measured their aerobic fitness, took blood tests to measure their triglyceride levels, which is a type of blood fat, measured their body composition, and upper and lower body strength. We did this at the start of the study and at the completion of the 6 weeks. First of all, both groups had really high compliance throughout the study, attending around 98% of the prescribed workouts. Now remember, these are fit individuals, so you would expect to see smaller changes as a result of the 6-week training period than if we tested people who weren't exercising. Let's take a look at the results of the group fit group first. Their triglycerides reduced by 3.1%, their aerobic fitness increased by 1.7%, body fat reduced by 0.8%, with a reduction in their waist circumference of 1 centimetre, and their back strength increased by 8.4%. Now, check out what happened to the grit group. Their triglycerides decreased by 14.5%. Their aerobic fitness increased by 6.4%. They had a 2.1% decrease in body fat, including a 2.5 centimetre reduction in waist circumference, and their back strength increased by an impressive 21.9%. So, it looks like the predicted high-intensity interval training effects are being delivered in all areas in the GRIT group. And the GRIT group participants rated their satisfaction levels as extremely high, despite this added effort. When we compare the two sets of scores, you can see clearly that those doing the Les Mills GRIT series workouts just twice a week had at least double, sometimes triple, the improvements of those who were doing the 5 hours of group fit. So, as expected, if you want to give your fitness a nudge, short bursts of high intensity is the way to go, and the Les Mills GRIT series workouts are a great way to deliver these results fast. Now let's take a look at a couple of individual effects achieved by the participants in the GRIT group. This graph represents a participant doing one of the Les Mills GRIT series workouts and compares it to a steady state workout where he was running on a treadmill. You can see immediately the different levels of intensity. It's estimated that in a Les Mills GRIT series workout, you spend 20 of the 30 minutes in the class above 80% of your maximum heart rate, which you can see in these high training zones. And look at these spikes of intensity at regular intervals, taking this individual into the red zone, past his predicted maximum. These spikes are what spark the changes that are specific to high intensity interval training. And last, take a look at this graph. This is a recording of one person in the trial doing the same RPM release before and after the 6 weeks of the Les Mills GRIT series workouts. You can see that his intensity in RPM increased due to the effects of high intensity interval training. Now this participant wasn't trying to work harder, but because he had increased his anaerobic threshold, he developed the capacity to do more work. Including high intensity interval sessions, such as the Les Mills GRIT series workout, will transform your other classes. You'll automatically work harder and get more bang for your buck. So here are the takeouts. High intensity interval training delivers the following effects: the EPOC effect, body fat reduction, hormonal responses, and increases in aerobic fitness. And now we have the evidence to demonstrate that the Les Mills GRIT series workouts deliver these high intensity benefits and the participants love it. Now before I sign off, I'd like to give a huge thanks to Dr. Ginger Gottschall and her team of instructors and participants at the North Club. To check out the full report on the study, go to lesmills.com/research. Until next time, goodbye.